Willie's friend, Jerry Irby, to Coffee with Bill.
Willie's friend, Jerry Irby. I am one person, not a team.
Right. Wow.
It's just me out here.
Are you familiar with Bobby McFerrin?
I am not.
Wow, because you should look him up, man. But you be careful because it could put you in a time warp or some kind of space-time continuum thing. You look exactly like him.
I'll hold off on saying thank you then, I guess.
No, yeah, he's a really cool musician, singer, songwriter.
Percussionist, great percussionist.
Yeah, and also, don't worry, be happy. That's who.
Yes.
That,
is that who sings that?
That's Bobby.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I worked with Robin Williams on that. So anyway, Brookings. Now this place, the Comedy Room that you're in tonight, it's Wooden Legs Brewings. It's a brewery, right? Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's a brewery in Brookings, South Dakota.
Affiliated with real estate companies?
I'm not entirely sure how, but yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
I was gonna find out tonight or tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, it's tonight. Don't go tomorrow. Oh, tonight and tomorrow. Okay, so you got a weekend there. Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting thing to see like real estate companies on, a banner for a comedy show. Anyway,
isn't that the one that Sean Jordan books?
You got
no,
some.
Sean Leary.
Oh, you guys in the same room?
We are in the same.
Yeah.
Wow, that's why we got echo.
I know. I was trying to figure out how to fix that.
I don't think you have to fix it. You can just
Okay,
mute yourself and talk loud, and we'll hear you through his.
Yeah, all right.
So I finally figured out how to get Conway to mute himself.
At least he's not like today.
I know, right?
I got some comments on that. People were saying my impersonation of RFQ was dead on. So maybe I'll do that.
You have a second career.
Yeah, Jerry, say Detroit for me, or the city name that's in
Detroit?
Michigan. Yeah. Now Willie says
Say it.
Yeah. Well, you just said it. Willie says Detroit. Is that common?
Some people do. Yeah.
Detroit.
Yeah, some people
Yeah, we know people do, but what about Willie?
He does a lot of things different.
I do a lot of things different. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
very fair.
Well, I think we're gonna probably have to mute you because you're like somehow.
I did mute myself.
You did? Oh, so that's what we. Wait, try talking now. Unmute yourself for a second.
Hold on. This might help.
Yeah, because we're not really hearing you. Oh, technical problem. We apologize for this. People out in America and Canada, my favorite country.
We'll do the colored commentary right now. The other black guy is messing things up for all of us.
No, it's Willie.
No, just
It's the other white guy.
The other white meat.
Yeah. Do you refer to everybody who other than yourself as the other black guy?
That's a good question. It depends on where I am.
Wow. So you think of you're the main one and anybody else is the other one? That's the
only in my world.
That's messed up, dude. That's messed up.
It's fine.
Only in my world.
You gotta get some humility, man. Humility.
I have plenty of humility. Can't
so
you smell it?
Oh, so you're sending Jerry out into another room? Is that the deal?
Well, he just went out there.
All right.
Trying to send him to the back of the house. That is so.
If that echo helps.
What do you got? A plant? Oh no, the house just has lots of plants in it.
I try.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks. Thanks for going out of your way to try to resolve Willie's audio problems. So tell me about how you got out of Detroit. Did you take a midnight train going anywhere and just end up in South Dakota somewhere?
I mean, long story short, yeah. That's a less cool but shorter story. But military was how I left Detroit. I joined the Air Force like maybe 6 months after graduating high school.
Wow.
And afterwards bounced around a few bases, ended up in Rapid City, which is like on the west western side of South Dakota.
Wow.
And yeah, once I got out, I kind of stuck around here.
And you plan on staying in South Dakota?
Nah, probably not. That was a long time ago, and I've been saying that for a while now. It's just a matter of not really knowing.
It's
where
like
I
it's
wanna
like
go.
a maze you can't get out of. Once you get into South Dakota, there's no way out. Or I don't know. Maybe it's like purgatory. Maybe it's a
It's
vortex
more
to
like
hell.
purgatory.
Very
Yeah,
much like
there's not
purgatory.
enough here to be a maze. You know what I mean? It's like, you see everything, but it is.
I don't know. They
chill
put
here. I like
roundabouts
it
in
here.
random intersections, so it is
That's
kind of
what it
turning
is. That's
into
how
a
they keep people
maze.
here.
That's interesting. Roundabouts in the middle of nowhere for no reason at all.
Yeah, like on side streets, bro.
Yeah.
Roundabouts
Wasn't
on
that
side
wasn't
streets.
that
On
was the
one
original that was
lane
the
street.
And
original
they
title
Not
for the
even.
Yes song. That was
It's not even
that
2
was
lanes.
Yes's original title for that.
What?
Roundabout in the middle of nowhere for no reason at all. They had to
That's a little
shorten
too.
it.
Yeah, a little too
Yeah, they had
long.
to shorten it to get it on AM radio.
Yeah, or even to get it on the album, fit it on the album cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
So,
not kick it.
so is there a plan now? Do you have a plan for traveling? Because comedy. Listen, there's only so many comedy rooms at real estate companies in South Dakota that you can headline in. Do you plan on traveling at all for your career, or?
I do. I've been. I
To
go
North
around
Dakota,
kind of
right? You've been
wherever
in
I
North
can.
Dakota.
I've been in North Dakota for
So
sure.
you've hit both of those clubs in North Dakota.
Yeah, been in North
Okay.
Dakota. Been in Minnesota. All the states that touch South Dakota for sure. Been in Arkansas. Been in Michigan, obviously.
Is this consensual touch, or is South Dakota just raping these other states?
South Dakota.
I mean, it
rapes
depends on
everyone.
how old they are on what that technically counts as.
Okay, I'm just
Wow.
checking because I'm not from those parts.
How long you known Willie for?
About since 2020, before pandemic. I met him when I started doing comedy.
Right now, when you have a conversation with him, do you ever get to say anything?
Yeah. You gotta just force your way in. He'll take a breath eventually, and then you gotta just right there. You got your spot, and you gotta go for it. You know, don't
Interesting.
hesitate.
We don't have that opportunity. We don't have that luxury here
Right.
doing it remote. Maybe I could hook up some kind of like stinger or something, shock him through the internet or some kind of.
Well, try this. Try this. Hey,
And also,
Willie,
if you
Willie,
have give him food, give him something to eat, and then he'll have something to do.
That's true.
And that's when you
Can't
gotta
talk
figure
from the
people
mouth
out.
to
You gotta
smoke.
figure out how to work with people.
Yeah. Have you
That's
guys?
way better than some of the other people who just put their dick in my face.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Rude, right? I was there.
I don't think
I don't know
we're
whose
ready
dick
for
it
that
was,
yet.
but-
Maybe in the second hour. Maybe when in the second hour when we're talking about how to travel for free, that might come up as an appropriate method of free travel.
That should be, yeah, okay,
right.
how to travel for free. Use your mouth.
Have you guys worked together?
We've done a few
Yeah.
shows together, man.
Who's the headliner?
Who was the headliner? I don't
Yeah.
think was either one of our shows. There was that one.
Well, I was
that
hosting,
one that
so you
were.
featured. Didn't you feature when we did the dope show with Preston?
Yeah, that
And
was a
that-
feature. I was thinking of another one that
The Bosses Goes Boozless, but I hosted that as well. But I also hosted and produced both those shows. Usually when I produce a show, I host it instead of headlining, and then I bring in other people. But I love bringing in people like Jerry, because Jerry's awesome. Jerry here is a 4-time winner of the Larry Brinkman Award.
Of the what award?
Yeah,
Larry
it's only
Brinkman
impressive
is
if
the
they know what
local
it is.
comedy award here in Sioux Falls.
Ah. And what's the significance of the award?
It's winning. You win the monthly competition. If you win the monthly competition,
Yeah.
and then so I mean,
No, well,
why
the
you gotta-
namesake
why you
and all
gotta
that kind of.
minimize it? Why you got to diminish?
I'm
people's
not
accomplishments?
diminishing it. I want
First
to
of all,
understand it.
you
I
are.
want to understand the
You
value
are.
of it.
Right? Who's Larry Brinkman? First of all, why is it named after him?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That's
so,
exactly what I meant by the
All right.
significance of the award.
So
I mean, if
The
it was the
Larry-
Wait a
Jerry
minute,
Lewis,
whoa, wait a minute. I'm sorry, Jared. Do you know this story? Because you could probably tell it in like 400 less
yeah,
words.
go ahead. If
No,
not,
just
No,
easy.
I don't know it well enough to tell it. I've only heard it Like, I never met Larry, but a lot of the people
I
that were
didn't either.
around longer than I
was
have
Wait a minute, you've won the award
met
3
Larry.
times. You don't know anything about it?
Won it 4 times.
4 times.
4 times.
That's even worse. That is 33% worse.
No, that's 44%.
No,
Think about it. Larry was a comedian that was around here in Sioux Falls that passed
I don't
away.
even think he was a comic. I think he was just a fan that always came to shows.
Skyler told me he used to phone. Was he just a fan and he'd call in to listen?
Yeah, he would. He was
Ask
just a
Morgan.
fan.
We'll
and
ask Morgan.
He would go to all the shows and he would fall asleep. He was the sleeping crowd member at like countless open mics in Sioux Falls, and then he passed away. And after he passed away, in honor of him, they named the comedy award, the monthly comedy award. They named it after Larry.
Interesting. See, now that's a good thing. See, that fact that I asked about that, we wouldn't know that really amusing and lighthearted anecdote about Larry had I not asked that question. So, see, this is the benefit of not having done any research. You see, you're getting the point now, GD, about how this works.
No.
Neither am I. I just thought I'd say that. Anyway,
Yeah, we don't research.
Doesn't look like it looks like we're having some technical difficulties on the radio side. I'm going to see if I can fix that. In the meantime, so Jerry, before the Air Force, did you have was comedy always in a plan on you, or did it happen by accident? I'm finding a lot of comedians that I'm talking to, it kind of got into it unexpectedly, because in most like acting or music or something, people plan on it their whole lives and then they move towards it. But I'm finding a lot of comedians who just stumbled into it. Tell me your backstory.
A comedian was the first thing I wanted to be when I grew up. However, I did not plan and work towards that. It's kind of more of a realistic type deal, having school, military, and then after military, and not even for a while after military. It was kind of like one of those forgotten things, because even where I was, there wasn't much comedy. There wasn't much of comedy scene. So I would listen to comedy all the time and always, want to do it, but never actually, go out to do it.
So did you?
So when I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
When I moved here, there was a comedy club here. So that's like, all right, so let's try it out then. That's basically
You just, I'm just gonna go there and ask for stage time. It wasn't like an open mic thing.
It was an open mic.
Open
mic.
Right.
The first we went to a show, and so that's how I found out where the club was. And he said, "Yeah, there's open mics every Wednesday." So I said, "Oh, okay. Well, let's go. Let's see." Because it's always one of those. You want to do things your whole life, and then you finally see an avenue to do it. And it's like, all right, let's check it out.
I find a lot of people don't really have any, especially young people today. I talk to a lot of young people about goals and what they want to do with their lives. And what are you passionate about? I don't know, nothing really. I mean, they just like going through life. So it's good to have a goal and have things you want to do. But I kind of disagree that that it's very common now for people to go through their whole life wanting to do something. A lot of people question, like, what the fuck am I here for?
Or some people have passions, but they're embarrassed by them or don't think they're possible and don't want people to shit on them before they have a chance to fail at it.
Are you talking about you?
Yeah.
A lot of passions get lost in living in real life too. Like if you would have asked me, I would have probably, in my younger 20s, I would have probably not even thought about, oh yeah, I do want to be a comedian,
Right.
Life.
Yeah, life does have a way of beating you down and beating your ambitions and dreams out of you, without a doubt. Now, how long did it take before you? Hey, this is a setup question, because you're going to tell me you killed the first night, but how long did it take you before you really felt like you belonged on stage in comedy?
Ask Will.
Huh?
mean, Jerry was pretty quick.
Yeah.
Jerry was pretty quick.
I could sing you my first set if you want. Like,
Yeah.
because it was my first time on stage, but it wasn't my first time writing jokes. Like, it wasn't my first time. You know, I know setup, I know punch. Like, I used to, people at work used to look at me weird because I would walk around with headphones in, listening to stand up, and I just laugh out of nowhere, and they didn't know. So I've always been, stand up's always has been a thing up here. It's just that was my first time on stage with the microphone.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that you thought you felt like you belonged even before you were on stage. That's on you, because most times, even though people think they belong, I mean, really feel it in their gut, that in their soul, that they belong on stage. That takes a while, because the first time is not necessarily a positive reinforcement of the team.
I'll be honest with you. You could tell with Jerry his very first time. Matter of fact, you know how I've told you before that like I want to do all 4 of them clubs on Long Island, and I'd like to bring people with me. Jerry is definitely one of the people I'd like to bring with, because I feel like Jerry's got it. Like you could be funny, you could be a very very funny comedian and not have it. You know what I mean? It takes that special spark, and Jerry's got that spark for sure.
Yeah. Because when you say not have it, I think just the ability to feel comfortable on stage. You know,
he's chill. His chill factor on stage is to the roof, bro.
Yeah. What happened?
So much so.
You just slapped. I thought you went through the trap door. Pull the trap door wire, and Willie's gone. You didn't look like you went up. You went down, which would probably be the way you're going anyway. Is down. Down. What did comedy cost you? And this could go be any of you guys, but Jerry in particular. Does it cost you anything as far as in your life, relationships, a steady life, any of that kind of stuff? Do you feel like it's cost you anything?
Coffee. That's a good one.
What about that? It's early in the morning, and coffee must have kicked in.
Yeah. No, I don't feel like comedy costs me anything. I mean, my lady doesn't. My lady loves that I have something to do. Of course, she doesn't. There's how often I do it and the other things I do, but no, it hasn't really cost me anything actually, because I started doing it like not a couple weeks after I moved to Sioux Falls. So I really that's where I found my people.
Interesting. Yeah. I could tell you without a doubt, my life in music has cost me lots of relationships. And it's cost me a lot of different careers, because I could never really, money-making careers. It's cost me a lot of money because music, I always put music first. So, if there was a job that was paying the bills, I would walk away from a job that paid the bills in order to keep making music. So it's cost me a lot of things, but when I reflect on it, what about you guys? What are you eating, Will?
I'm eating the breakfast that Jerry gave me right before we started.
And
he set this plate with toast and sausage down next to me, and I'm just like, yeah, because I'm not gonna be on
fucking A. That's a good host. A guy who's just gonna.
And he didn't even know I was coming, like, because I didn't know I was coming to Sioux Falls today. I got involved. I'm going to be in a karaoke contest tonight, so I had to come to Sioux Falls today. And so I didn't even know I was going to be in town. So I messaged Jerry this morning. I was like, "Hey, did you get the link?" And then as soon as he started talking back to me, I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going to be late getting on the show. I don't know where I'm going to do it from. I got to get on some Wi-Fi." And so he sent me his address so that I could just come here.
So you double Wi-Fi and you still have better connection than you normally do.
yeah, go figure that.
Wow.
That out.
GD, what about you? Has comedy cost you anything?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, we'll move on. I love yes and no answers. Fucking asshole. What a fucking asshole.